Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you like to hear someone talk about cats, rats, dogs, and reptiles, it is what I'm here for. So please go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. So, sorry I haven't been posting very regularly. If you hear a bunch of stuff, by the way, it's my dogs outside of the pet room. But anyways, sorry I haven't been posting very much regularly. I posted a video back in May explaining that we had a lot going on. We're getting this current home ready to sell. We are currently building another home. We should be moved into the other home before Thanksgiving. So hopefully by the year 2021, I'll be back on a regular schedule. I prefer it that way, but I still work. We're still dealing with coronavirus. We're still dealing with this home. We're still having to go check up on the new home. So there's just a whole lot going on and not a lot of free time. Anyways, with that being said, today's video is going to be about my rats back here behind me, Oreo and Sookie, these sweet, sweet girls that I absolutely adore and love and have been they just have been so much fun to have as pets. I absolutely love keeping rats, these two girls. But unfortunately, today's video is more about how you have to plan for end of life kind of for your pet rats. So the girls are now about 2.5 years old, very close to me having them for 2.5 years. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that they're about 2.5 years old. I have no idea how old they were when I got them. And I've considered a few things. Originally, when I started keeping rats, I was like, okay, no big deal. This would be the perfect time for me to introduce a new pair if I were to continue keeping rats. And that's kind of what I originally, when going into having rats, thought I was going to want to do. Now, don't get me wrong. I love these girls. They have been amazing, amazing pets. However, I just don't see myself keeping rats anymore in the future once they are gone. So with that being said, I'm not introducing a new pair at this time. However, anyone who has done even the slightest bit of research into how to properly keep rats, you know that they need a constant companion. So I have reached out and talked to a few other rat keepers. I've reached out and talked to local rat rescues because that is a thing. You guys get on Facebook and look into where the closest rat rescue is to you because there are groups on there. And I do live in a major city, so I have a little bit more access for that, I guess. But always give that a go. So I have these two geriatric rats, I guess, at this point. And I've got to start thinking about what I want to do. Some of the things that I talked about with other keepers and things were, once one passes, is that when you take the other one into a rescue and they start bonding with other rats. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, maybe that's too stressful and I need to surrender both of my rats together so that they have time to still have their bond together, not be as stressed solely is probably the word I'm looking for, solely trying to bond with a new group of rats, which I definitely didn't want to do. I really don't want to get rid of my girls, period. I don't want my girls to die, period. I love my girls. So like I said, it's not going to be a very fun video because we've got to talk about these things. These are things that I wish I had thought from this perspective when I originally went in to get rats. I probably still would have gotten them, but it is something that I wish would have been discussed a little bit, or I would have put more thought into, I guess. Because like I said, originally I thought I was just going to continue keeping rats and I would be introducing in another pair at this time, which isn't what I ended up doing. So like I said, I had those two other options that I thought about, waiting until one passed or surrendering both of them. Basically, a lot of the people I talked to who were rat keepers outside of a rescue, who were rat keepers, said the better thing to do would probably be to surrender both together. That way it's less stressful. They have the time to bond while still having their bond, and then they can kind of just move forward from there, which honestly, that wasn't the answer I wanted because that was going to be the most heavy on my heart. I don't like to surrender my animals, period. But it was the answer that I was given by most fellow rat keepers that I reached out to for their opinion. It's a very selfish thing. So I realized that and I was like, okay. So at that point I reached out to 2 rat rescues. There's 2 locally to me. So I reached out to those 2. I asked them what their opinions were, and they both told me the exact same thing. So now I'm kind of really stuck. Both of them said that rehoming rats at that age is basically a death sentence, which was hard for me to hear. Whether I did it together or individually, the outcome was still probably going to be the same because they're at an age where it's a lot more difficult for them to adjust. They're a little bit more sensitive to getting stressed out. And then in the event that they both did super fine, thrived, and were well, when one passed, it wouldn't be long for the other one anyways, whether they were still in my care or their care, because they lost their lifelong companion. So I was like, oh, so what would you recommend? And they both said, basically, I would keep them at home at this point. They're kind of past that age. One person I talked to, she runs a rat rescue and she's a rat breeder. She has the most adorable rats too, by the way. She straight up told me that they wouldn't make it longer than a month or 2 at this age of being rehomed, and that it wouldn't be fair. And maybe she didn't have room. I know it is Corona right now, so like a lot of places are overflowed with like intake. So I don't know, but she was very honest and she was like, they're just not going to make it. They just won't make it longer than a month. She said if she were advising someone to do something, she would say, just keep them at home, let one pass, give the other one as much attention as you could. But either way, no matter how you go about it, they're both going to, the outcome is still the same. So that kind of sucked to hear. And like I said, she was also the one who was more blunt about it, I guess. She was a breeder as well, and she said that she won't even adopt out rats after a year of age because it's too stressful for them. She ends up just keeping them. So that was interesting. And again, sorry if you hear my frogs are croaking. One's sitting on top of the other one. He didn't like it, so he was croaking. I don't know if you picked up on that or not, but anyways. There's so many distractions in this room. It's a fun room. But so after that, I kind of took the information. I've been sitting on it for a couple of months because I did start reaching out after they hit about 2. I just felt like I needed to be prepared and come up with a plan and, know what I was going to do. So I'm going to hang on to Sookie and Oreo. I am. I'm not going to rehome them or anything. There's enough people here home the majority of the time, especially because of the current events outside right now. So I feel like they could still get enough attention. It's not ideal. It's not what you would want to do. You would definitely want them to have another rat companion to where it's constant. We sleep at night. The rats are most active at night. However, in the morning and the evening time, they're still pretty active. So like right now it's, I don't know, it's evening. I was looking for the time, but it's not showing. It's evening and they're out and about waiting for some snuggles. So that's pretty much the hard story I had to share. If anyone has any suggestions, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below because I'm here for it. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't think it needed to be talked about. So I'm open to it. I'm open for it. But let's get the girls out and watch them snuggle me because they're adorable. So in case you didn't know, this is Sweet Sweet Oreo, and then this one right here is my Sweet Sweet Sookie, and they really are just the best little girls, and I've enjoyed having them so much, and I'm going to continue having them for their end of life, or till their end of life. Oreo has never been the snuggler. Sookie's usually the one that snuggles me. Sookie's also the one that's kind of slowed down, that I've noticed slowing down the most recently, but they're both doing all right. Hey girls, I am getting peed on right now. Of course, every time I have the camera on, neither one of them want to just like chill and snuggle me. They're probably waiting for treats right now is what they're doing. But here's Sweet Sookie. You want to tell them bye? Yeah. And here is Sweet Oreo. Yeah. But they have been so healthy. We haven't had any issues. The vets have always been really impressed because I have taken them in for like checkups here and there. I do that with all my animals. And the vets have always been super impressed with how good they look and how healthy they are and how just awesome they are and how nice they are and things like that, especially for female rats. They do tend to be a little bit more wild just based on my research, but I've always gotten pretty lucky, especially with Sookie, who right now is the one who's probably about to jump. But let me get them each a little treat and then we'll say goodbye. Okay, so I've got them each just a little piece of like freeze-dried sweet potato. They love this. Ooh, Oreo, here, you get that and go. Oreo's literally on my butt right now. Okay, I got her. Okay guys, and like I said, just go ahead and leave in the comments down below if you have any other ideas or suggestions for me. But that's the video today. Y'all have a good one.